My brother made $4 million last year. 4 million. And his lawyer just called me about mom's house. A 3 bedroom in Westfield, Ohio, worth less than his car. He wants it. He actually wants it.
A tech millionaire and a small-town nurse. One left home at 22 and never looked back. The other stayed for 6 years to care for their dying mother. When the will was read, the millionaire hired a lawyer. But the real story isn't about the house. It's about $47,000 that disappeared from a dying woman's savings account. And the daughter who took it. The Conways lived in Westfield, Ohio, a town of 11,000 people, where everybody knew your parents before they knew you. Richard Conway was a contractor. Patricia was a middle school teacher. They had 2 children. Jessica, the responsible one, and Luke, the one who was always building something in the basement.
We were close growing up. Luke was 3 years younger, but he acted older. He was always the smart one, always reading, always on his computer. I was the one who stayed in the kitchen with mom. We were different, but we were a team.
I loved my family, but Westfield was suffocating. Everyone had a plan for you, and it was always the same plan. Stay, marry someone local, get a job at the plant or the hospital. I wanted to build things. I wanted to go somewhere where that wasn't considered strange.
In 2017, Richard Conway had a heart attack on a Tuesday morning. He was 61, Jessica was 30, a registered nurse at Westfield General. Luke was 27, working at a startup in San Francisco that was developing inventory software. He flew home for the funeral. He stayed 4 days.
Luke came for the funeral and left before the flowers wilted. 4 days. I'm not saying he didn't grieve, but he grieved on a plane back to California. I grieved in mom's kitchen, watching her stare at dad's empty chair.
Luke set up a standing transfer, $800 a month deposited directly into Patricia's account. His way of helping. Jessica saw it differently.
$800 a month, like a subscription, like he was paying for a service. Here, this covers my share of being a son. You can't wire love, you can't direct deposit presents. Mom needed someone to sit with her at 3 in the morning when she couldn't sleep. That cost more than $800.
I sent money because I couldn't send myself. I had a company to run, employees depending on me. I offered to hire a professional caretaker. Jessica said no. She said Mom didn't want a stranger. What she meant was, I want you to feel guilty.
The years passed the way they do in these stories. Slowly for the one who stayed, quickly for the one who left. Jessica's world shrank to the size of her mother's house. Luke's world expanded to the size of his ambition. By 2021, they were living on different planets.
I managed Patricia Conway's finances for 11 years, every deposit, every withdrawal, every transfer. And what I saw in the last 2 years of her life, I've never told anyone until now.
In 2020, Luke Conway's startup was acquired by a logistics company based in Austin. The deal was worth $28 million. Luke's share, after dilution and taxes, was $4.2 million. He was 30 years old. He bought a condo in San Francisco's Nob Hill neighborhood. He paid cash.
The day the acquisition closed, I sat in my new apartment, alone, looking at the Bay Bridge, and I thought about calling Mum. I didn't. I told myself I'd call tomorrow. Tomorrow turned into a week. That's how distance works. It's not one big decision, it's 1,000 small ones.
Mom's health declined fast after 2020. She couldn't walk without assistance. She needed modifications to the house, grab bars, a ramp, a walk-in shower. Medicare covered some of it. The rest came out of my pocket. I was working 12-hour shifts at the hospital and coming home to another 12-hour shift with Mom.
By the end of 2021, Jessica Conway was 3 months behind on her mortgage. Her credit cards were maxed out. She had $2,400 in her savings account. She was making $52,000 a year as a nurse and spending more than half of it on her mother's care. Luke's $800 a month covered the groceries. It didn't touch the rest. Luke visited twice in 6 years. The first time was Thanksgiving 2019. He rented a car at the Columbus airport and drove 90 minutes to Westfield. He stayed 48 hours. Patricia cried when she saw him. She cried again when he left.
He showed up like a tourist, brought expensive wine, took Mom to dinner at the nicest restaurant in town. 2 days of being the perfect son. Then he flew back to his life, and I cleaned up the dishes.
After the acquisition, I offered to pay for a full-time caretaker, a professional, someone trained. I found an agency, vetted 3 candidates, was ready to cover the entire cost. Jessica refused. She said, "Mom doesn't want a stranger. She wants her son." That was the last real conversation we had for 2 years.
He wanted to hire someone. That was his solution to everything. Throw money at it. I told him Mom needed family, not staff. What I didn't tell him was that I was already drowning. I didn't tell him because I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of being right.
Luke's second visit was Christmas 2022. Patricia barely recognized him. She kept calling him Richard. Jessica said nothing during dinner. Luke left the next morning. He increased the monthly transfer to $1,200. He didn't call for 3 months after that.
I reviewed Patricia's accounts every quarter. The pattern was consistent for years. Pension in, Luke's transfers in, household expenses out. Then in early 2022, I noticed something. Small withdrawals that didn't match any known expense. 200 here, 500 there. I didn't say anything. I should have.
By 2023, the Conway siblings communicated only through text messages, short ones. "Mom's okay transfer sent?" "Thanks." The relationship had been reduced to transactions. And that is exactly the kind of silence in which secrets grow. When Patricia Conway died on March 14th, her savings account should have held $142,000. It held $95,000. $47,000 had vanished over 24 months, and Luke Conway already knew where it went. Patricia Conway died on March 14, 2023, at home, in the bedroom she'd shared with Richard for 34 years. Jessica was holding her hand. Luke was at a product launch in Austin. He got the call at 11:47 p.m. He flew to Ohio the next morning.
He showed up in a $3,000 suit. I'm not making that up. A $3,000 suit at a funeral in Westfield, Ohio. Everyone noticed. Everyone.
Else was that's a really dark suit I owned. I didn't think about the price. I was thinking about my mother. I was thinking about the fact that I missed her last 6 years.
Patricia's will was straightforward. The house, valued at $380,000, went to Jessica. The savings account, $95,000, was to be split evenly between both children. Jessica would receive the house and $47,500. Luke would receive $47,500. 2 weeks after the reading, Luke's attorney filed a formal contest.
I couldn't believe it. He has $4 million. $4 million. And he hired a lawyer to fight me over a house worth less than his condo's parking space. I called him. He didn't pick up. His lawyer called me back.
Everyone keeps saying I don't need the money. They're right. I don't. This was never about the money. When I went through Mum's financial records during the estate process, I found something. Withdrawals. Dozens of them. To accounts that weren't Mum's. They were Jessica's.
Luke's attorney presented 43 separate transactions over 24 months. Transfers from Patricia's savings to Jessica's personal checking account. The amounts started small. $200, $350, $500. By the final months, Jessica was transferring $3,000 to $4,000 at a time. The total, $47,000.
I was drowning. My mortgage was 3 months behind. My credit cards were maxed. I was spending $2,000 a month on Mom's care out of my own pocket. I gave her 6 years of my life. I gave up dating, travel, promotions, everything. Yes, I took money from her account because I had nothing left.
Then you should have asked. You should have called me and said, Luke, I need help. I would have written a check that day. You didn't ask because you knew the answer would expose what you were doing.
The withdrawals weren't for Patricia's care. I checked. The timing didn't match medical bills or home modifications. They matched Jessica's mortgage payments and credit card due dates. I traced 11 separate transfers directly to her Visa statement. Patricia's cognitive decline meant she couldn't monitor her own accounts. She trusted Jessica completely.
You want to know why I didn't ask Luke for money? Because asking your millionaire brother for help when you've been the one cleaning your mother's feeding tube at 2 a.m., that's not asking. That's begging. And I was not going to beg the person who abandoned us.
The community didn't know about the bank records. All they knew was that a millionaire from California was suing his nurse sister over their dead mother's house. Westfield had its verdict before any court did. They settled in August 2023. Jessica kept the house. Luke dropped his claim to the savings. No money changed hands. The attorneys were paid, the papers were signed, and the Conway siblings walked out of the mediator's office without looking at each other. They have not spoken since.
Everyone in Westfield knows what happened. My brother, the millionaire, came back to fight me for Mom's house. That's the story. That's what people remember.
Poi could have sent those bank records to anyone. Her employer, her friends, the local paper. It would have taken one email. I didn't. Not because I forgive her, don't, but because I already lost my mother and my sister. I'm not going to lose my dignity too.
The saddest part is that they were both right to be angry. Jessica gave 6 years of her life. That's real. That matters. And Luke uncovered something that nobody wanted to see. Those two truths don't cancel each other out. They just make everything worse.
Luke Conway went back to San Francisco. He sold the Nob Hill condo 6 months later and moved to Portland. He doesn't talk about his sister. Jessica still lives in Patricia's house. She repainted the kitchen. She kept her mother's chair by the window. She tells people her brother is dead to her. She doesn't mention the $47,000.
This is the story of two people who both believed they were the victim. Jessica Conway sacrificed 6 years of her life to care for her mother. She gave up her career trajectory, her social life, her savings. That sacrifice was real. But during those 6 years, she also took $47,000 from a woman who trusted her completely. Luke Conway left home at 22 and built a fortune. He sent money every month. He offered to hire help. He was refused both times. When his mother died, he discovered that his sister had been quietly draining her accounts. His anger is understandable. His absence is also real. Jessica needed that money, but needing something doesn't make taking it right. Luke had the right to be angry, but being right doesn't undo 6 years of not showing up. If you sacrifice everything to care for someone, does that give you the right to take what you need along the way? Or does the sacrifice only count if it's clean?
Next on After the Will, a daughter moves back home to care for her father. She changes the locks. She fires the housekeeper. She rewrites the will. By the time her brothers find out, it's already too late. Every family has a version of this story. Subscribe to hear it.